Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, as the title suggests, I'd like to talk about political humor with you today. Specifically, there's been a new little meme floating around, and it's on the it's on the weaker end of political jokes, if I'm being honest with you. So, if you're not familiar with how this started, there was a NASCAR race probably 2 weeks ago or so, and this dude who won, this is his first time winning a race, first name of Brandon. And when he won, when the announcers, newscaster was doing their thing, the crowd was chanting, F Joe Biden, F Joe Biden. And this newscaster, because they're live and don't want to swear on the news, spins it and says that the crowd was chanting, let's go Brandon. So this has turned into sort of a calling card now of people. The reason I say it's on the lower end, I'm not saying that you can't make fun of a politician or express your displeasure with a politician, but say it. Say what you mean. You don't need to hide behind anything if you really mean it, right? Just say it with your chest. You can. No one's going to get mad at you. Watch. I'll say it right now. Fuck Joe Biden. It's not hard. This has reached a bit of a headway lately because there's some Southwest pilot who apparently before the flight took off said, let's go Brandon. There's some journo on the flight who said something about she heard or he heard audible gas from one of the flight or one of the passengers, something like that. And honestly, how I feel about it, yeah, you don't need to hide behind the stuff that you mean. You don't need to use code. If you mean something, say it. What's the point of hiding behind little soft language coding unless you are afraid of repercussions? And then if you're afraid of repercussions, do you really believe the things you're saying? Why not just be honest about it? You can make fun of politicians all you want. Political humor in and of itself is subjective. Just you'll get people who say that there are some things you can't joke about, and to an extent I understand what that means. I won't say that there are topics that are off limits, but there are ways to joke that don't you can be offensive without the joke ending on offense. I heard a term yesterday in a video. The uploader's name is FD Signifier. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's a long video about Dave Chappelle, so I'll try and timestamp it. But the concept is called crossing the line twice, where essentially you make an offensive joke, but you get so ridiculous with how offensive that it is that you've already crossed the line from being offensive, but then you wrap it around and you get so outrageous with how offensive it is that it starts to become pointless. Like the offense is now the back end of it, and the ridiculousness of the situation is what makes it funny. Now, with that in mind, I could see that as your reasoning behind this whole let's go Brandon thing, because it is a ridiculous thing to happen. To have a audience of people chanting their displeasure about the political climate, and then a journalist trying to I won't even say that the journalist was trying to run like a cover for Joe Biden. Let's be honest, most sportscasters are pretty conservative, but it's more of a matter of they had to lie about what was being said because you're a professional and you can't say the F word on TV, especially not live. You're gonna get fined for that. I think from that, this has become like this whole conspiracy that like the media is trying to protect Joe Biden when the media is also showing his falling poll numbers, having people on to express their displeasure with the Biden administration. You don't have to hide about not liking Joe Biden and what his administration has done. You don't need to. Just be honest about what you mean. And that's it. I'll end this saying that I really do feel like the Let's Go Brandon is the exact same as when Trump was in office and people started calling him Drumpf. It's the same level of humor. It's just soft. There's actual things that you can make fun of Joe Biden for. There's real things that you could talk down about that guy about. But the crowd at a NASCAR event chanting F Joe Biden, that's it's irrelevant, to be honest with you. Dude's got less than a 50% approval rating right now. It's not just a NASCAR event that's saying that. But again, don't hide what you mean behind code. Just say it. You'll feel better, I promise.